It's not just cryptocurrencies. Indian markets are also facing turbulence. 2025 has started on a sour note for investors here. More than $50 billion has been wiped out this year. And we are only in the month of February, so $50 billion gone in less than 2 months. Even today's trading session ended in the red. Clearly, we are in a bear market. What is not clear is if they have bottomed out yet. Just last year, Indian markets had the global spotlight. There was an unprecedented bull run. India was among the best performing markets globally. It delivered superior returns and outperformed many developed economies. So what has changed now? What has disrupted this bull run? In 2 words, Donald Trump. It is the Trump effect at play. Foreign investors are offloading their Indian holdings. This year, they have sold shares worth over $10 billion. You could say these investors have made an exit. India's finance minister says they're booking their profits.
FIIs also go out when they're able to, or in a position to book profits. Indian market today, Indian economy today, has an environment in which investments are also yielding good returns and profit booking is also happening.
There is some merit to this argument. Last year, Indian markets were valued at over $5 trillion. Over 800 billion was added in 2024 alone. So the investors who entered the Indian market before the bull run stand to make a handsome profit. And it makes sense to sell at the right time. But this is only a part of the story. There are other factors at play as well. After Donald Trump's win, US government bonds have become more attractive. They are available at better interest rates, so some investors are choosing to park their money in US treasuries. Others are spooked by Trump's unpredictability. They're worried about his tariff threats. Last week, Prime Minister Modi met the US president. It was a positive meeting with many promising takeaways. The US and India are discussing a trade deal, but Trump has not backed down from his threats. Before meeting Prime Minister Modi, Trump slapped reciprocal tariffs on every trading partner. He raised taxes on several imports. He also threatened Brics nations.
And I said, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every one of those nations. And at the mere thought of saying that, I think that's all broken up. That idea has no longer sailed.
India is a member of Brics, along with Brazil, China, Russia and South Africa. Trump believes that Brics poses a threat to the US dollar. Members like Russia want Brics to abandon the dollar. Moscow wants Brics nations to come up with an alternative currency and trade in local currencies. And Trump has threatened 100% tariffs on Brics nations if they go ahead with this plan to de-dollarize. And this has unsettled investors because Trump is not just targeting bilateral trade here, he is threatening groups like Brics. He is willing to punish them to protect American interests or what he believes are American interests. What kind of impact will all of this have on India? If Trump imposes tariffs on Indian imports, almost every large sector could be affected, from chemicals to automobiles, defense, energy companies, textiles, footwear, all of it. They're all vulnerable to Trump's tariffs. Even the Indian rupee is feeling the pressure. Last week, it fell to nearly 88 against the US dollar. India's Reserve Bank had to intervene then. The RBI defended the rupee by selling dollars from its reserves. So the Trump effect is in full force. His unpredictable policies will test the Indian markets and the Indian rupee, but it's not just India that will be hit. Foreign banks are also worried. Banks like JP Morgan and HSBC, they're taking unprecedented measures to manage this Trump-induced volatility. Both banks had stored some of their gold reserves in the UK. They're now moving this reserve. It is being shifted from London to New York on commercial flights. Often banks and investors resort to gold to keep their investments safe because gold is a safe haven in uncertain times. And that explains why gold prices have been soaring in the international market. 1 kilo of gold now costs well over $94,000. There is a spike in demand for the yellow metal. Trump has been in office for just 4 weeks and he's already shaking up the financial markets. He's going to be around for 4 years. So governments and investors must plan for the long term. We're calling the show Vantage. We hope you like what we put together for you. And among touted as the minimum to raise defense from that video. India's neighbors were the first to send the special edition of Vantage live from the White House throughout this week. Yes, Hindu Mandir in we're on our way to Tel Aviv. Pretty measure, but it's also the perfect way to drive.
I don't think that
Prime Minister of Bhutan, Sherin Tagwe. Welcome to
60% of the world's
office. Prime Minister Modi did the iron.
We were actually
How are you doing? How do you like? It's been 1 year since that meeting. Iron bars separate you from the outside. Out the vote effort. Trump had, it says, and at $4.3 trillion. 4.3 300 billion by 2030. That's what we need to tackle climate change.